All right, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Rachak, Wadaj, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom. All right, so let's get into Exodus chapter 11. I said we go up to like 14 or 15 because we wanted just to cover, the whole account of, captivity and, deliverance and destruction of Pharaoh's army. All right. So we're in Exodus chapter 11, verse 1 says, "And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence together." All right, get out of here, get out of here. You gotta go now. All right. And this is why, or as we read, we'll find out why that is. So it says, "Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold." And that was said, which is these precepts here, Exodus chapter 3. "And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and it shall come to pass that when ye go, you should not go empty." If you get favor here, it is H2580. All right. And you come up with this word here: favor, grace, charm, elegance, acceptance. And if you go back, and that word is khan, if you go back to this word khanan, right, khanan, and you'll come up with this, where it says to be gracious, show favor, pity. All right. And so did not the Lord show us pity by delivering us? Okay. And there's another point I want to make as I go back here, because it says, "Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold." All right. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh gave the people favor," as we just read, "in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people." So in all Egypt, Moses was highly known. All right. After which he was known already, both him and Aaron, really. But at this point, now you have everybody, because obviously the Lord had to put the spirit on the Egyptians to give us everything we were asking for. They're not just going to do it. They don't like our people. They have us in captivity. So it was the spirit of the Lord that came upon all the land of Egypt to give us these things that were necessary for our departure. Now, the problem with this is because you have a lot of, men, especially women, because you hear a lot of this, from these women, but you have men and women both who believe there's going to be some kind of second, exodus, as if we're going to just, our enemies are just going to let us go free. They're going to put us on boats and planes and load us down with gold, silver, and jewelry, all this kind of stuff like that. That's not biblical, okay? As a matter of fact, is it in Jeremiah? I believe it's in two places in Jeremiah. I want to say 3:23. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can get right straight to the point. "It shall no more be said." I believe it's in two places in Jeremiah. I want to say one of them was 23. Yeah, here it is, Jeremiah 16. They didn't pull up 23, but we can get 16. I know there's something in 23 I usually read. But anyways, Jeremiah 16, and yep, the Most High will restore them. So it says, see, look, Jeremiah 23:7. You see? "Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt." I didn't mean to click on it. Hold this back up. I just want to pull it. There it is. "But the Lord Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country," which is talking about North America, "and from all countries whither I had driven them, because we're scattered." James 1:1, "To the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and they shall dwell in their own land." All right. Which, as always mentioned, we never really fully received all of our land, man. From the Nile River and all the way over to, like, man, what is that, near like Iraq, Iran, over there to, going eastward, okay, and however far up northward, okay. We only lived in a portion of our land. If you go back and look to on a ancient map of our promised lands, we only lived on a portion of our land. We haven't fully lived on all of our land, okay. So that full brunt of that blessing is coming when salvation is given. All right. But to move on with my point here, because you have Israelites thinking about some kind of second Exodus, where they're just going, our enemy's going to let us go on planes and stuff like that. No, it's not going to happen. You're gonna catch a Leah flight real quick, okay? Their plane is going to be, because of how big some of these families might be, or maybe small, but you have to think about it. Everybody's getting gold and treasures and stuff like that. They're going to put it all on planes. That's not possible. The plane is going to be overburdened. It's going to fall out the sky. A ship is going to sink. Okay. Then we just finished off the book of Acts with Paul headed to Rome as a prisoner on that grain ship. What happened? The storms got heavy. The ship started to sink because it was almost, it was 276 men aboard that ship. And then you have all these pounds, probably these bunch of tons of grain and stuff like that. Okay. So it's what people believe is going to be a second Exodus is not biblical. Okay. So it says, but the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, which is once again North America here, Babylon the Great, the west, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers, by way of what? The promise that went down from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Okay. It says, behold, I will send. Actually, we don't need that. We don't need that. We just want to read 14, 15, which I usually read 23, but 23 didn't come up. But yeah, so as a matter of fact, let me jump up and actually, we don't really need that, but you can read that verse though. 13 says, therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that ye know not, neither ye nor your fathers, and there shall ye serve other gods day and night, where I will not shew you favor. Where was this said at? In the law and the curses, man. All right, where it says that you will serve gods that you nor your father have known. All right, even when in stone, and that we will pretty much be scattered throughout the earth in captivity. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 28. So as we bounce back, because we made that point there, okay, what a lot of these Israelites believe is going to be some kind of a second Exodus, okay, that ain't entirely biblical. There's going to be a great deliverance, but it's not going to be like Exodus, okay. So it's not really a second Exodus, because if it was a second Exodus, we would leave with a bunch of gold jewelry, all this chains and whatever, okay, all these different substance, but you're not taking anything, all right. Wherever you are, maybe you're captive at the time, or of course not. If you've been a martyr, you're in the spiritual realm, you just get raised up. But maybe you're somewhere captive at the moment, or maybe you're out in the wilderness as a pilgrim. Wherever you are, you might have a small bug out bag or a big backpack or whatever, and clothes on your back. All that will not go into the chariot. All those things will be shed off, okay, and you will be changed into a new body. So you're not taking anything with you when you go up into the chariot, man. Not up into the air on an airplane or across the waters on a boat. Up into the air, into the atmosphere on the Lord's chariot. Okay? And you're not taking anything with you. Okay? So that doctrine is off there. So we would go back here. Let me see here. Verse 3 says, and the Lord Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, thus said the Lord Yahweh, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt. And all the firstborn, this is why it says, he's going to throw us out, all right, angry, in verse 1. And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, basically his eldest son, his prince, right? The prince of Egypt, firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. And this is Pharaoh's household. So when the Lord is gonna, because this last plague here, the Lord jacked up, Egypt multiple times, but in this particular plague, he's going to bring death. All right, because this is how these nations usually have to respond to the power of the Most High, through death, through slaughter, like he did to, was that Sennacherib in Isaiah, the 185,000 men that were deleted by the angel. All right, that overnight, you see, and Sennacherib fled and went back home, and he ended up getting put to death by his two sons. And in his annals, they basically lie in history and tell you that, oh, Hezekiah shut up like a caged bird and so on and so forth. Then they go on and talk about how he gave tribute and then that sent him back. Come on now, you know that's off. He did all this slaughtering of our people, from the northern kingdom, and then, eventually reaching Hezekiah and those Israelites there. And now all of a sudden, he's going to accept the tribute. That don't add up, man. But the scriptures tell you exactly what happened. Sennacherib came, all right, because Hezekiah rerouted the what was the name of the stream there? I forget it. But he rerouted the water because he didn't want the enemy to come and find that water source there, okay, and feed off the water source and so on and so forth. So he rerouted that, and you can look up Hezekiah's tunnel or whatever. I forget exactly how it's called, but he rerouted the water. Sennacherib came, all right, and overnight the 185,000 men, were slaughtered by the angel, okay, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. All right, when you go back to reading, probably like from Isaiah 30 through a few chapters, maybe 30. I can't really remember, 34, 35, 36, somewhere. It's somewhere in between there. All right, you can find it, if you read. But anyways, all right, going back here. So yeah, just to make my point, this is the first time the Lord is going to respond to Pharaoh and the Egyptians by death. All right. So it says, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of the beast. And once again, that's just Pharaoh's household. Then it goes on to say, and there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt. So also all the Egyptians. It says, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it anymore. So this death is going to be, just outstanding, because you're talking about the firstborn sons, all right, and all, of the first of the cattle. So it says, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, all right, against man or beast, that ye may know, like not even against the animals, right? That ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. For all you Egyptologists, or those that believe in Cometicism, or whatever the case may be, Africa's the motherland, all that nonsense, all right? The Lord is putting a difference between these Egyptians and the Israelites. You see? So it says, and all these, in other words, they ain't your people, all right? You're not Egyptians, okay? Or whatever. You just see that Jake get wooed by seeing, Michael Jackson videos and stuff like that, seeing, Egypt with all this, fancy garments and, gold dripped everywhere and all this kind of stuff. And that's all Jake see. And then they think, oh, yeah, we the Egyptians, man, because we both brown, right? We black, all right? What do you mean? It's not your people. And especially as far as, the so-called black thing goes, well, what about the rest of the tribes, all right? See, Judah got a problem with acknowledging all the tribes, all right? You think it's a black thing. You ain't that special, okay? You might be special, you're the head tribe, but you ain't that special, because there's still 11 other tribes, man. So what about the rest of the tribes? Did you never hear that from these people, man? They hear a little bit of truth, and they don't get the full truth. They just heard, I'm a tribe of Judah, or I'm an Israelite, because they just assume they're the tribe of Judah because they got brown skin, all right? Well, you might be a Reubenite. You might be a Gadite. You see? You might be another tribe. Who knows? All right? But that black thing is off, okay? And it's all so-called black people is definitely off, because what about the rest of the tribes? But anyways, it says, and all these servants, all these thy servants shall come down unto me and bow down themselves unto me, saying, get thee out, and all the people that follow thee. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great anger. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. You see? And this goes back to, I'm gonna get the precepts here, because it's also said here in Exodus, but the precept is in Romans, so we can just get it from here. So when you read these, Exodus 7:4 says, but Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth mine armies and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. You see? And it says, Exodus 10:1, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, which is hard as your mind. The word is lab in Hebrew, meaning your mind, not your blood pumping your chest. I have hardened his mind, as we always quote Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. For I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I might shew these my signs before him. With signs, we went into signs before. All right, miracles, proof, omens, so on and so forth, right? And then you get to Romans 9, which is also said in Exodus. And interesting how that's not here, but you get it. Romans 9:16. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up. For what? That I might show my power in thee. You see, I'm going to show you that I am the God, all right? Not you or these false gods and idols that you worship, but I am, all right, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, the power of these Israelites, these Hebrews here that you have captive, the power of, all the universe, all right? I own this, all right? This is my house, okay? It says, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might shew my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. And when you get this name, all right, if it comes up fast enough, all right, Onoma, which we go into this all the time. Usually when we're talking about Yahweh Shah, rank, authority, which is captain of the Lord's host. It tells us that in Joshua chapter 5. But there you go, Onoma, all right? And here it is right here. Actually, it's not even here. Like, oh, here it is, right here. Yep. An example for one's rank, authority, command, excellences, look, deeds, etc. You see? So you may know that I am the power, okay? The living, like it says in Hebrews 10 and 31, is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. You see? So it says, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth. You see? And who's the modern day Pharaoh? Esau, Edom. So when it goes to talk about says whom he will have mercy, he will have mercy. That's on the Israelites. And whom he will hardeneth, he hardeneth. Today, that would be Esau, Edom. All right? Not letting us go. Like it says in Isaiah 14, open not the house of his prisoners. You see? So they will be the modern day Pharaoh, as America is also called spiritual Sodom and Egypt. It tells us that in Revelation chapter 11, around verse 8 and 9. Okay? So he's hardening Esau's heart to do what? To show his power in this earth. And just like back then, after he jacked up the Egyptians and then put that plague of death on them, everybody heard what the Lord did, and they feared the Lord and his power and his name. Okay? And he's bringing that back today in real time. He's going to bring back the fear of him in all the earth, and as the kingdom of heaven is being established. All right? Call hello, you lie, Yahweh Shema Shah. So let's go back, which we're done here, but we got to talk about something else here. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that my wonders may be multiplied in the land, in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. Now, another thing, when you're dealing with what's about to happen here in this Exodus, okay? So many people have this wrong, all right? Because especially going to what we just talked about, all right, black, all black, all right, Judah, okay? You're going off, man. Because for one, you're not black, all right? You're the tribe of Judah. Your skin's brown, your hair's black. And two, there's still other tribes, man. So what about the rest of the tribes? And so because of that so-called blackness that they got, embedded in them, they won't let it go for nothing in this world. You claim you hear the truth and understand it and know and believe it, but you won't let the black thing go, right? And so they have this idea that this 400 plus years is now, all right, that we're living in now. No, that already happened, man, way back in what we're reading now in Egypt. That was the end of the 430 years that was prophesied by our forefather Abraham, okay, when the Lord put him to sleep. All right, and we're about to read it. Let's just get down to it. All right, past this. I think it might be 15. I'm thinking about another one. Let me back up and get 15, actually. Genesis 15, if I'm correct. All right, let me see here. Yep. Genesis 15. As a matter of fact, let's get a little bit of this. You know what? The chapter is short. And let's just read it. Why not? And it has Hebrews 11 and 8 here. By faith, all right? That whole chapter is all about faith. Okay? So Genesis 15 and 1. After these things, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord Yahweh, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. So Abram thought, his servant, this steward here is going to be, the one that, all this, stuff is going to go down to, or as pretty much as an heir. All right. Meaning that they're going to inherit everything after he's gone. So it says, and behold, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. So meaning it's going to be your own child, not just this random servant who you probably love and trust, right? No, it's going to become of your own bowels, your own son. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And that was told to all of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You be as the stars of heaven, the dust of the earth, and the sands of the sea. All right, for a number. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord Yahweh, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? All right, what's the sign? All right. And he said unto him, take me, well, actually, not really a sign, but I mean, you can say sign because of what's about to happen. All right. But that assurance, okay, says, and he said unto him, take me as an heifer, and he said unto him, take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety, here's the vision of where we are now, that we're reading right now, right? And he said, no, unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Talking about us Israelites under these Egyptians, and shall serve the Egyptians, and they shall afflict them, as it says in Exodus, I believe it's chapter 1, serving with rigor, right? And they shall afflict them 400 years, right? So there you go, 400 years. It says, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge by what? By the plagues and ultimately death throughout all the land of Egypt. And afterward, they shall come out with great substance. As we just read, it was in 2 different places. Borrow every one of your neighbors, so on and so forth. You see? And that's what we talked about before, where Jake think they're going to go on planes and boats loaded down with all kinds of treasures. That's not biblical to the salvation coming to the elect of the nation of Israel. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in the good old age. Okay? So there you have it, man. All right. What we're reading here, all right, is going down now in Genesis. All right. I'm sorry, in Exodus. Not now where we live in real time. That's not biblical to what we just read there. Abraham received that vision of us in the Egyptian captivity. All right, not now where we are now. All right, scattered throughout the four, because it doesn't add up if we're scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. It says that nation will I judge, but we're scattered in all the nations. Okay, now ultimately when the Lord returns the second time, he is going to judge all the nations and deliver up the elect from all the nations, but this is not what it's talking about. All right, and more so, which is why I hung on Judah, because it's them mostly. It's always talking about the slavery of the so-called Negro, as if you're the only ones who experienced slavery. The scriptures clearly say the children of Israel and Judah were oppressed together. And where is that? Here in Babylon the Great, as we all were brought. Well, the northern kingdom came over here on their own. All right, majority numbers, they all came over here after the Syrian captivity. But then the southern kingdom were taken up, from Africa, mainly because we, Spain, Africa, different places, because we fled there after Jerusalem in 70 AD. And then we were brought over here to do what? To serve under Esau as well. See? So it says that Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh, and the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of this land. All right. So this was a very short chapter, super straightforward, but we had to bring out those extra points there to make everything, more clear for, those that lack that understanding. All right. Or maybe you have the understanding, but you keep hearing someone talk about that. So we clarify, Lord willing. So that was the end of that. We'll be back soon, Lord willing. Shalom.